What's up?
Hey, no, just technology's not functioning today for me.
It's Monday, Manny.
Like I don't understand what like my mouse wasn't connecting to my computer. It's my fault. I left a bunch of Adobe Windows up last night, I think. So I think
Yeah.
like
You were gonna send me a video that never happened, so I guess we'll do that thing on another day.
no, do yeah, I guess we'll do it on Wednesday. Well, yeah, I guess we'll just do it on Wednesday. Or we can just
Okay.
intro it and then I could just
I mean,
send it
yeah,
to you.
if you can send it to me, then we can put in a nice little segue and then we can show that to people. I'll let you do that a little later. Right now I'm gonna awkwardly segue into saying, hey, good morning everyone. Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and Genreverse Podcast Network, available on all your favorite podcast apps like Google, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, more. I'm Kyle, that's Manny, and hit the subscribe button if it's something you haven't done on YouTube, and if you're listening to us on your favorite app, please follow us. Leave comments, interaction, thumbs up, down, likes, dislikes, whatever floats your boat. It all helps out in the end, sort of. Anyways, yeah, we got a lot of stuff that happened, but it's all kind of centralized around gaming. And I've actually got a bug up my ass about gaming. But before that, we're gonna let some work Manny's done. Well, Manny, you explain what are we about to show the audience?
So, this past weekend I spent a good chunk of my weekend actually at Pixar Studios, doing tours and getting to more familiarized with their upcoming film this weekend, Elemental. So we talked to some of the cast, we talked to some of the crew, as you're going to hear me say once again in the video. And yeah, just a little preview of the full interviews that will be posted on LRM online, as well as some clips. It was a really good time. I really thank Pixar and Disney for continuing to allow me to cover their films in this manner, and hope you enjoy it.
Very, very cool. I'm excited. All right, guys, we'll see you on the other side of this.
We're here at Pixar Studios in beautiful Emeryville, California, to celebrate the premiere of Disney Pixar's brand new animated feature, Elemental. We're talking with some of the cast, talking with the creators, tell you everything you need to know about the film before you head to the theaters this weekend.
Meet the residents of Element City. Air usually has their head in the clouds.
Oh, my new jacket!
Earth can be a little seedy. Water is always getting into something. And fire, as ordered, we run a little hot.
Why are you guys always striving for making sure you can create the next impossible?
Just the fun idea of trying to see something new, something that you hadn't seen before, and not only just something that you hadn't seen before, something you haven't seen before, but that also can connect on an emotional level. These films are challenging, but I feel like this one in particular was much more challenging than a lot of the films because we just didn't have a road to make characters like this. We're used to making toys, we're used to making cars and humans, but there was nothing before this for these characters.
Could you tell where my head was at when you found me? Me and you and your hair look back just to find peace. Metaphor,
Every shot's an effect shot, and like Peter was saying, we had to create a department, and yeah, it was kind of mind-boggling. I still look at it and I'm like, I can't believe we got it finished.
What are you doing?
But the main thing is, if her father can't retire, it will be all embers.
Stop talking!
Because you get a little hot and you get a little emotional, but it elevates and your voices really change. How did you guys develop that voice? Because it's a lot of fun in the film, especially Wade. When he starts getting emotional, it goes over the top.
I had the best teachers in the world, man. I really think I did. I genuinely think I did. But it was just really about being open and vulnerable and letting yourself go through the extremes of emotions, whether it's super angry or happy or emotionally sad or whatever. Those techniques and like those experiences in that classroom really helped me prepare for this part.
I've been trying to fill my father's shoes, but I never once asked what I wanted to do.
For me, the emotional side when it came to family, and when you would see Ember's light dim, and you know she would barely even look like fire at that point.
Yeah.
She just looks like two little eyeballs, and Wade's like, "You're beautiful," and then you see her like bloom up again.
Have a log.
Have a log, my friend.
Yeah.
Those parts were actually so gratifying, but also really difficultly beautiful, because I was digging deep into my toolbox of real life experiences that I had when I would think of my family.
Disney Pixar's Elemental hits theaters June 16th. This is Manny Gomez with Latino Review Media.
All right. Thanks for sharing that, Manny. I'm actually interested in Elemental. I was talking about this on Discord with Jonesy, who's co-host on Breaking Geek. Check out their Breaking Geek Radio here on the Genreverse. Check out their Transformers Rise of the Beast review up now. And a lot, like some reviews of Elemental, or a particular review was just like, oh, it's so formulaic. It's nothing unexpected. It follows, beat for beat things that you've seen before, which was kind of what I was expecting from the trailer. But the trailer made me and Christine both laugh a lot. So we're cautiously optimistic that might be a new animated film for us to enjoy. What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I'll actually defend this movie a little bit more than I thought I would have to. It does suffer from the fact that we are, and this is something I talked with Peter Sohn, the director, and Denise, the producer. It suffers from the fact that it has to follow up with Super Mario and then very, very shortly Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But the time and effort that was put into this movie to create the elements that were necessary to make these characters work is insane, incredible, and they had to basically invent a new department in order to make it happen. Every shot is not just an animated shot; it is a VFX shot because of it.
Right.
How do you bring
lighting,
fire?
the fluid,
How do you bring fire to life? How do you bring water to life? What does that look like as a being? Air and things like that. And honestly, it's a rom-com to some degree, and it's beautiful. But overall, also it's also just kind of a reminder that we all come from different places of the world to come together to one place to live together and really coexist as different elements in it, that everybody brings something to the table. It's a really, really good story. I really enjoy the characters, and to me, honestly, it made me really happy because it was a back to form for Pixar as far as what we should expect from them, because I don't feel like we've had a movie like this since Inside Out, because like we've seen Lightyear. And some of the other films that they've done as of late, they were just kind of Lightyear. I honestly I could barely get through, and some of the other later films they're okay, but this invention of a place like this where it kind of makes you wonder and things and think outside the box a little bit. I think is a really, really good film, but like I said, it suffers from the fact that we're having one hell of an animated year. I told Peter specifically, hey, Pinocchio, Super Mario, Spider-Man.
For a second there, my mind went to Disney's Pinocchio. I was like,
No,
wait,
no,
what?
no.
I know,
no,
Guillermo del Toro.
I was like,
Del
I was like,
Toro's.
I asked, I was like, tell me what's happening with animation in 2023.
Yeah.
And so, we talked a little bit about that. It doesn't go over anyone's head that, there's a lot out there to compete
which is good.
with. It's just great. Yeah.
Animation is great.
Yeah. And animation is film. I do not like the fact that sometimes it does get disrespected, especially by the Academy, because you just lump it as a kid's film. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. Well, we got a topic today, video games. I'm a little bit angry right now over anti-consumer behavior, if you will. So everyone knows that the summer games showcase has been going on. We've seen stuff from Sony. I'm not sure if Nintendo's done anything yet, had their direct or anything there's for the summer. Xbox had a big day yesterday and over the weekend. And a lot of stuff was announced, and some stuff looks interesting. A new Fable, which is crazy that that's not getting more buzz. I found the trailer for the new Fable to be really funny, actually, playing off of Jack and the Beanstalk. I guess now it would be Jane and the Beanstalk, but you can pick you can build your character in the Fable games, but it looks cool, looks fun. Not a lot of stuff coming out of that. A lot of things were announced. I'm showing them here on the Genreverse YouTube channel via IGN for those listening. But it was Starfield, of course, which really stole the show. A lot of people really excited for it. It looks cool. It had a 40+ minute freaking showcase, checking out all sorts of stuff. When you get down to the nitty gritty, some of the technical things, and I'm looking to see if IGN is covering it here in their big piece. No, I'm probably gonna have to go and dig around in for the smaller pieces. But the developers started talking about the graphics and the difference between console and PC, and they mentioned how PC, if you've got a 4090, you rock your 4090 level graphics, go full fidelity, all balls to the wall, right? But for consoles, they locked it at 30. They locked it in fidelity mode. You only get 4K 30 FPS. I hate this, and I hate it with a passion because it takes the option away from the consumer. For one, I don't like motion blur. I hate it, especially on video games. I don't care for it so much in movies these days, but I really hate it in video games. I don't need it. I turn it off on every single game I possibly can. That will boost performance on a PC because you're no longer processing for motion blur, right? If you offer gamers these options on consoles, they too could see performance boosts or power reduction if they maintain a, say they're playing on performance mode and they do turn off motion blur or lower the resolution or something like that. My point is this, is they're locking it, saying we want fidelity only 30 frames per second, which if you are very used to high refresh rates, it will look choppy. Every time I play something that is locked at 30, or anytime I watch a movie in filmmaker mode where I'm looking at 24p, no motion clarity added, artificially, it looks stuttery, and it takes me 30 minutes for my eyes to kind of settle in and accept the frame rate. And it's not me bragging. That's an awful thing to have. But more and more people are having it. That being said, this is a freaking video game and you got the options built in. Like, why lock something down like that? Who are you to tell me what I want to see with my eyes on my device that I spend the money on. If you spend the money and you don't just, get a Game Pass subscription. I don't know if this will be day one or not. It would be stupid if it is, but it probably will be. I'm angry at that because it's anti-consumer to not give the option. The options are already there. It's already built into the code. You can already turn on and off certain things. Why to this day consoles do not give the fine-tune options? If not anything more than just allow people to reduce resolution in game, not necessarily just based on the TV connection. Allow them to change shadows, water detail, like all of those things. I play a game. I don't need a bunch of water detail if it's not a big water game. That's wasted resources. I'm upset, man. 30 frames per second in 2023? What the hell, Bethesda? Anyways, what games are you looking forward to, Manny?
I don't really play video games right now. I'll be honest. I'll be very excited for a game. I'll buy it. It'll sit in its shrink wrap for months, and then I'll come back and go, "Oh yeah, that's right. I was supposed to play this." It took me 2 years to play the second game of The Last of Us, and I bought the latest Call of Duty. I must have played it maybe for 4 hours in total, and I'm out in the world, man. I'm at the theater. I'm watching movies. I'm watching TV shows. I'm traveling at the newsroom.
So what you're saying is, while you're not playing games, you're still not touching grass. Joking. I'm joking.
I was just at the park yesterday.
I just said I was joking.
I know, but I did want to point out that I was at the park. Yeah. So, and
what do you? Oh, go ahead.
I just can't. I didn't know. Also, like, it's their product. If they want to ruin it, I really don't care. Well, I think it's because of that. Because I don't play enough video games to really care. Like, it's at 30 frames per second. I'm like, all right, cool, that's good enough. Like, I'm not like fine tuned. But especially when I play a game, I'm looking for more of my interaction with the characters, with the story, and kind of surprises and things like that. A lot of times, honestly, because I mean, you did too. So I'm not saying that you don't feel you don't feel this way, but I get what you're saying, that we're in a day and an age where it should be, with all the tech that was available at our hands, that we should be able to choose
at least the option.
Yeah. But I mean, kind of like I grew up with like playing FIFA and Madden and everything on like the PlayStation, where I did too. Yeah, and so as things get better, like it's great. Like, oh, cool, it looks better. But for me, the overall joy and experience of it, I can go back and play, that terrible first version of Twisted Metal, which was so fun, or just your classics. Mortal Kombat, and just have just as much fun as any new graphic with like medically accurate fatalities and stuff like that. I don't, it doesn't bother me because I don't see it enough. It's almost here's a good comparison. A lot of the general audience did not notice that there was an audio issue with Spider-Man. I did.
Yeah, that's true. And that happens to me sometimes. I'll hear a whole channel will be out, and I'm like, is that a channel out? And I'm listening, and 10 minutes into the movie, I'm like, yeah, it's out. No one else cares, says anything, and it's me who has to get up and go, hey, you guys, could you check your audio equipment? You got the far back right channels out or something. You know?
So I noticed it, and people who edit videos and things like that noticed it. And it did become a thing to the point where Sony
had to send out new copies.
new copies of the film,
which is easy these days. It's all digital and stuff.
Yeah, so that's nice. But so like it all, I guess it all just depends on really what you're into and what you're focusing on. So I don't fault you for it at all.
Yeah, like I said, my whole thing is just it's the option. The option's already there. It's like a lot of car manufacturers these days will have these smart features that are built into the car. It's already there. They've already accounted for the cost, but then they put them behind a paywall and a subscription service, but the option's already there. Like, it's already there. They've already technically paid for it. Apple is another company that is really awful for limiting choices, for gimping its hardware, and all in the name of either it's a curated ecosystem. My ass, or we don't want to put you at risk. You're not worried about risk. Come on, how many dozens or hundreds of celebrities, personal photos were leaked by Apple iCloud stuff? It's the consumer thing, man. These options already exist. Changing certain things like anti-aliasing, giving options to change shadows, simple option. And Manny, you brought up a good point. Most people aren't going to take advantage of that, and you could easily put in preset modes like they do for a lot of games, the performance, the fidelity, the ray tracing on consoles. There are games that have that for PS5 and whatnot, but allowing those of us that want a more curated thing, and not to mention certain things will help people with different vision impairments. Motion blur could make it harder for someone that already does have reduced vision to make out background details. So making sure that they can always turn that off and on is, in my opinion, a fairly important thing. But again, it just all goes down to end users. And I've got this idea that when I buy something, I relatively own it and relatively should be able to do as I wish. That's where modding and all that comes into it. And I don't like a company telling me what to do with something I purchased after the, you know what I'm saying? When it's in my hand and I'm not distributing anything. I'm not changing something that, changes the product for everyone else. I'm doing what I want to do. It's just it's lame, but I'm glad gamers are getting a plethora of games. I'm excited about Spider-Man 2. I've got Final Fantasy 16 coming out. Excuse me, next week. I'm super excited about that. I plan on streaming some of that here on the Genreverse, as well as I can't wait for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. More than likely, like winter. January, February 24, maybe. No, they said early 24. So anyways, and Starfield, I'll be playing on PC if I play it, because I prefer to have options. So, and I'm not a pleb.
Yes, you are.
I am. I mean, I'm rocking a 9th gen i9 9900K, and then a 3080 Ti. So I am kind of by today's 13th gen Intel chips and the 4090s, the 4090 itself. Yeah, I guess I kind of am a pleb, but anyways.
While I'm happy for you, most people have no idea what that means.
They should. I mean,
I don't.
Come on, man. This stuff is all like everywhere these days. Anyways.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I've seen it many times, is people when they go to Best Buy or whatever, and they're like, "Is this a good TV?" And they're like, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, it has blah 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 blah." And the person goes, "Ooh," and like I can tell, like, you have no idea what any of that means, and then proceed to buy that television because of its fancy.
Whenever someone asks me for an opinion, I say, "What do you want to do with it?"
Yeah.
If you are in your 50s or 60s and you're looking for a new TV, man, you can actually go, unless you're an audio-visual file, you can go incredibly cheap and get an amazing experience that you would think is the best picture you've ever seen in your entire life, especially if you're not playing video games. It's just you watching movies and TV, YouTube. Yeah, man, a freaking TCL 4K screen that does a solid 60 hertz, you're golden. I hate it when people just sell the biggest, fanciest thing, but I get it. Capitalism. I'm all about it. But
are
have
you?
good
Because
form.
right now you don't sound
have
like
good
you are.
form. No, I'm just saying have good form. I can make the sale, I just don't need to sell the biggest thing. And I save them money they can go spend on something else, say the surround sound system for their new TV.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
So let's talk more about non-gaming entertainment and take a quick look at the box office from the weekend. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Did you see it? Did you see it?
No, I was thinking on two. I spent a lot of time not.
Yeah. You had other stuff going on. But 60 million in its opening weekend. Nothing to write home about, but it was enough to top Spider-Verse, which had a nice, for these days, 54% drop over the weekend. Already making more money than its predecessor, of course, and is sitting nice and tidy at just under 400 million, 389.9 million worldwide, 225 coming from right here in the North American market. The whole weekend brought in a nice 163, which, you know, that 140 to 160, 165 is seeming like a pretty common number these days, unless you get something like a Guardians or eventually I'm guessing the Flash this week. And I don't know, man. I there's not a whole lot to break down on it. I know the Little Mermaid is sitting at 414 worldwide right now, which, given its estimated costs, what was the cost? It was like 250. It's sitting right at profitability. You know, it's getting really close to breaking even, which is good for it. But man, did the international market just not give two damns. And also, let's not act like the domestic market. 228, man. You know, things like Lion King smacked the hell out of that. So it is weird. It's been a really like positively received movie for the most part. Whatever. What do you think about the box office this weekend, Manny?
I don't know. I'm not very surprised. I think I didn't expect anything from it as far as like anything to jump out, because Transformers had a lot to really compete against, and then also just Transformers in general is one of those where people have that fatigue of it hasn't really been very good. And I would agree with that. So
a lot of people really enjoyed Bumblebee. So
yeah, it's one out of what?
I liked one and three. I like
one and two. I like 1 and 2. and then you just have Spider-Man, of course, you know, continuing to do what it does. It got really close. I had dared to say that Spider-Man would bring in more. That it would keep number 1.
I thought close. It was a good chance.
It got close, which made me happy. What makes me happy also is that at number 5 is still the Boogeyman. And at this point, I think it's basically breaking even with what it costs to make. But that movie was gonna, I think it cost 35 million to make.
Okay, yeah.
But that movie was gonna go straight to Hulu. So, I mean. You know what could you have made from that movie if you didn't? But I think with the next couple of weeks, there's not another horror movie really out there. I think it's gonna do it's gonna make a little bit of money at least, and then they're gonna put it on Hulu and they're gonna be able to still enjoy it on streaming. Everybody wins. You know what the winning movie of this weekend was? It's not in theaters. It is Flaming Hot.
Yeah.
That movie,
talk about that.
That movie, directed by Eva Longoria, is a Latino story, told from our perspective, and I swear I got teary-eyed at the end, because it's such a similar journey that even some parts of it I've gone through, and the way it's told from our perspective, and it's told in a very, very generalized way where, you know, everyone can get it. And it's a movie about hot Cheetos, but it's a story about us, which is kind of annoying. I don't like hot Cheetos personally.
I'm not a big fan of flaming hot Cheetos at all.
But I couldn't help but, you know, that rave about that film, because
I like spicy
Very,
food.
very
I
good.
just don't like that flavor.
I don't like that artificial
particular.
flavor. Yeah, I agree with you. So I mean, if you get a chance to watch that, it's easy. It's on Hulu and Disney Plus. It is definitely worth the watch, and I wish I could have watched it on a big screen, but I'm glad that it's out there for everyone to enjoy, because I think that is a niche movie that I don't think would have necessarily done too well in theaters, just because of what it is. But at the same time, I'm happy everybody gets to watch it. I will be watching Transformers tomorrow, but I just have a really busy week in theaters this weekend, so it'll be great. But I mean, like, enjoy it now, because soon that's gonna have to change due to the fact that there's gonna be a little bit of a lull due to a little thing we like to call a strike.
Yeah,
probably. So
God.
you know, it's going. Interesting that Fast X is really being supported by the international market.
I mean, that's not surprising.
No, it's not. It's just it's
common.
pretty standard, but it makes me
652, man. That's far from a billion.
It makes me mad though.
Why?
Well, because
it's still doing.
It just reminds me of the fact that, because some people ask me sometimes, it's like, why do they keep making Venom movies? Like, well, let me explain to you. Or it's like, why don't they stop? And then the next one, it's like, man, another fast movie. I was like, he's like, just blame China. And then they're like, what? And I try to explain to them that the international market is the ones that are keeping these movies afloat. It's kind of annoying, because they're like, oh yeah, keep making these movies. We don't care if they're bad. We just keep bringing in money. I am surprised that Guardians is still at 4. I thought it would have fallen a little bit by then.
Yeah, there. I was looking for this franchises button. I wanted to look at the Fast and Furious numbers as far as worldwide. Yeah, it has been trending down. It had started going up. 6 was the highest grossing of them all, and then 7 went, 1 point. Excuse me. Yeah. 5 made 629. 6 did 789. Then you had 1.5 billion, 1.2 billion. Hobbs and Shaw, 760. Fast 9, 719, and Fast X 652 worldwide total. So it's been in a downward trend, and it has lost damn near no, it's lost over half, well over half of its highest mark. So
yeah, and yet they promised the Rock movie.
Yeah. Well, hey, what was Fast X's Fast X budget? 340. I mean, it's made money.
No, yeah, it has, and people are gonna go watch it.
Money.
Yeah.
And did it make does it make enough in my opinion for all the spin-offs and stuff they want to do? Not really. And I don't. What is the next thing The Rock has coming up that's big, man? Because I just don't know if I'm curious as to what his name is really like after Black Adam, man.
Well, the thing is, he's currently trying to keep the XFL afloat, saying that it's going to be profitable, and everyone's like, "Is it really though? Is it?"
I see USFL, US Football League on TV on Fox all the time, on like our local, broadcast Fox. And I don't see XFL at all ever. I don't even see commercials for it, but I see commercials for USFL, so we'll see.
I gotta ask you just real quick, just because
Sure.
I want your opinion. I've seen this news kind of floating around in the ether, or whatever you want to call it. Do you think there's some truth to Vin Diesel being upset that he was outshined by Jason Momoa?
Oh, I mean, he's an actor, a celebrity, so yeah, I believe it's possible. I mean, a lot of them are narcissistic and egocentric and very, very within a bubble of yes men and women that tell them they're the greatest thing on earth. And I'm not saying that he is one. I'm saying many are, and it wouldn't surprise me if he were. Yeah, I mean, this is the guy that long time ago, and the whole reason other Fast and Furious movies are, you know, when he was like, I'll never do sequels, I'll never continue on, and here we are, like Fast X.
Well, Michelle Rodriguez did the same thing.
You know, yeah. So
did you see her? Have you seen her Comic-Con interview? They've been playing it everywhere since Fast X came out. She was criticizing Marvel. She was saying, at some point, how many of these movies can you make? Come on. And everyone's like,
lady.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it, man, but Jason Momoa was really the only thing in that movie.
That's what I hear.
Yeah,
that's what I hear. I'm not a Fast and the Furious type person, and I didn't like the first movie. I think I saw most of the second one, and then I didn't see anything after Tokyo Drift, and most of that I saw because I'm in the army, and a lot of soldiers like pointless trash. So just what it was on, you know, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, anything else for Monday, man?
No, it just feels like a Monday. It really does.
All right, guys, check out more content here on the Genreverse YouTube channel. Lots of anime reactions, reviews. Like I said, Breaking Geek Radio did their Transformers Rise of the Beast review. We've got LRMonline.com for all written entertainment news, celebrity interviews, all sorts of great things go up on the website. Podcasts are available as well. And of course, mentioning the podcast available on all your favorite podcast apps. I'm showing Spotify right there. Anime Expo, guys. Manny will be moderating a panel with AVR, myself, Christine, and Brian. If you're going to be at AX, make sure you track us down. Best way to keep tabs is, of course, social media at that Kyle Malone, at Manny Gomez Media, at the Genreverse, all on Twitter. And of course, join our Discord. There's a link in the description box down below. I will be posting updates, pictures, and things in our Discord from AX, as well as the social media I mentioned. All right, Manny, what you got?
A deflated ball.
Bye, guys.